It's Sunday, it's 8 o'clock, but not that 8 o'clock. We've got 12 hours to wait yet as the countdown continues. Sunday, the 11th of July. Good morning to you. A date that will go down in history as the day England took on Italy in the final of the European Championship.
Millions of England fans are waking up this morning with the hope that finally the men's team could lift their first major trophy since 1966.
The nerves are jangling. In the build-up to the game, the Queen, the Duke of Cambridge and the Prime Minister have all sent messages of support. Ollie Foster reports from Wembley.
Right, in a moment, we'll be speaking to Ian Brodie of the Lightning Seeds. He co-wrote a song that's probably been earworming around your head for the past few days, and you'll be hearing a lot of it today and possibly tomorrow, depending on how the result goes.
This is, of course, Three Lions, football's coming home, and it's been performed in all sorts of ways during the tournament. Alternative, that's kind of
the right moment. I mean, I missed the chance to ask him to sing it for us because that would have been amazing. But maybe that's why he disappeared. That's why.
Live music. Let me just tell you, as he touched on there, Ian, the Lightning Seeds are playing this gig today in London at the 229 venue ahead of the final.
It'll be fantastic.
Right. So we go from a great song and part of the carnival atmosphere here to trying to get a sense really of what it must be like being inside the England camp when you've got a really big day coming up. Really big day is actually an understatement, isn't it? Let's get that perspective from Danny Mills. Straight answer. I don't get that from the politicians at Westminster. I'd have got 45 seconds of waffle that didn't go anywhere near an answer.
Well, there you go. That's an answer you need. But do you know what, Chris? We are totally at risk of hyping too soon, peaking too soon, aren't we? We're still, 11 and a half hours to go, so we need to sustain this.
But beyond risk. We've absolutely...
We're too late, over
well
the
and
edge.
truly, yeah, exactly. But if you can't get excited on a day like this, the sort of feel-good atmosphere, when can you?
Absolutely,
When can you?
Exactly. And it has, of course, been a magical few weeks for England fans. But tonight's final will also be a bittersweet moment for many who'll be watching the match while thinking of those who are no longer with us.
Breakfast Jane McCubbin went to meet one group of people who are determined to enjoy the occasion, just as their friend, husband and dad would have wanted to. There, who were willing to speak to us. We are very grateful. This is BBC Breakfast and it's just gone 8:30. Good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us. Now, millions of us will be glued to a screen tonight for the Euros final, obviously, and that includes patients at hospitals across England and a fair few of the staff as well, if their duties allow it.
Let's bring in our reporter Geeta Penzi, who is at the University Hospital in Coventry, where the excitement is already building. And oh, brilliant! You've got a flag as well. Terrific waving. Morning to you.
There you go. That's a good flag-waving technique that we've got there, haven't we? And, you know, it was lovely hearing from Rodney there, who talked about watching the 66 final. He said you won't know what it feels like until you see it. It just gets across the sense of history. You know, it's something that none of us have experienced. Isn't that right, Gavin?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's going to be a special day. But I have to say, you know, a lot of my Scottish and Welsh friends...
Well, you've probably heard many versions of footballs coming home in the last few days, and in the last few hours, actually, on the programme. From the original single to the brass band we heard earlier, to the roar of the fans at Wembley.
Perhaps you were even treated to a tuneless rendition shortly after the pubs closed last night.
But have you heard the Bhangra remix? It's by a group called Back to Back, and we can speak to one of them now. Rana Singh joins us from Wolverhampton. Rana, I'm very excited to see how this goes. First of all, what made you decide to do a Bhangra version now?
I've just ruined it, haven't I?
On an unrelated note, it's time to say goodbye to Chris. Yes. Nothing to do with what happened just there. But Chris, you're off to read the news for Ma and change into his England kit. Which...
Indeed so. Yeah, I think I'll save Andrew Marr's audience any dancing, probably for the sake of my career. Indeed.
Oh, well,
yes.
If Gareth Southgate's men chalk up another win tonight, it's going to become one of those where were you moments. Where were you when Chris was doing his dance just now? The last major one for England was, of course, in 1966, as we know. It's something we've mentioned many times. And Jane McCubbin has been chatting to some fans who were there at Wembley for Italy won. That was what Jane just said there. But it's not a score prediction, but a handy way to summarise the population of Bedford, where 1 in 5 people are of Italian descent. John Ironmonger has been to the town which will be celebrating tonight, whatever the result.